Not a single large financial institution, we call them wirehouses, has added a Bitcoin ETF to its platform as of yet. They're all making an honest effort. A smaller, independent RIA like LPL, which is known to move a bit more swiftly, might be the one to do it within the next few months rather than the larger, more established ones. As soon as you find one that supports a spot Bitcoin ETF, all the others will follow suit. The Florida-based investment management firm that Cathie Wood co-founded with her husband and serves as chief investment officer CIO, focuses on innovative technologies like blockchain, robotics, AI, energy storage, and gene editing. Together with 21 shares, ARK Invest was able to get the RP Spot Bitcoin ETF approved by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission earlier this year. With its clearance, a new standard has been set for exchange-traded funds around the world. According to recent reports, these ETFs experienced a string of 3 days of inflows on a Tuesday after a period of significant withdrawals totaling $15.27 billion. On that Tuesday, BlackRock's exhibit brought in $1.3 million. The firm currently owns 312,565 Bitcoin, which is worth $8.26 billion at today's values. Cathie Wood recently spoke with Peter Diamandis on the ETF, and she expressed her optimism about the fund despite the increasing pessimism of their performance as of late and the continuing. She predicts that the cryptocurrency bull market of 2024 to 2025 is almost over and that major events could occur within the next few weeks, sending Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies to new heights. She is of the firm belief that big wirehouses such as Morgan Stanley, UBS, and others will launch a Bitcoin ETF before the end of 2024, which will have an immediate effect on the price of Bitcoin. Who previously forecasted in a research note from June that big private bank platforms and wirehouses are about to approve the listing of spot Bitcoin ETF. Cathie predicted that Bitcoin would reach $1 million in the next phase of the ETF during her conversation with Diamandis. Bernstein predicts that the listing of these ETFs will happen between the third and fourth quarters of this year, which will reawaken interest in the ETF and cause Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies prices to soar. Market confidence in cryptocurrency's long-term potential is reflected in this optimistic outlook, which is driven by the anticipated listing approval and its projected instantaneous impact on Bitcoin's price. One focused on Bitcoin on-chain analytics for the ARK team working on crypto in general. Based on those, we estimate that the bull market is halfway done. Because, prices often go parabolic near the end of a bull market. Halfway doesn't imply we're halfway through the price increase. We don't know where it would lead, but we're confident that we're in the middle of a bull market based on on-chain analytics when compared to the relatively short 10-year history and even more recent past. Given that the ETFs were introduced in January, this is really intriguing. Oh, great, the boom many people thought. And we've done really well comparing ourselves to David and Goliath. We are engaged in combat. Being where we are makes us very happy. Yeah, yet not a single one of the biggies, we call them wirehouses such as Morgan Stanley, UBS, Wells Fargo, or Bank of America has integrated Bitcoin into its system just yet. Cathie, you mentioned seeing a price of $1 million each coin while we were both on stage at Abundance 360 last. State or what? Yes, in the year 2030? Without a doubt, 2030. Our most optimistic estimate is thus over $1.5 million. By 2030, our base will have grown by a factor of 10 from its current $650,000 value. Additionally, there are three major components. This group consists of the decision makers of large financial institutions like B of A, Merrill Lynch, etc., and it sounds like retail distribution. Second, since it is a substitute for gold, we anticipate its eventual fusion. Half of the gold market, particularly with the interest in diversification among the younger generation. In addition, it serves as a policy of insurance. El Salvador is leading the way in emerging countries by establishing its currency as legal cash. I had the honor of meeting with key authorities there during my recent visit. Furthermore, it was a masterstroke to either provide for their citizens or serve as an example for other nations to follow. I think it's a fantastic head of state. Along with my mentor and buddy Art Laffer, Buchel is pursuing two major ideas: artificial intelligence, AI, and Bitcoin. I believe the government is going to be involved. The GDP is under $30 billion. Do you think that's true? Holy cow. Meanwhile, they're being quite forward-thinking as we're chatting. New tax policies are being implemented with the intention of fostering innovation. I believe that to be a profound concept. This is the path that Argentina is taking. We have had discussions with their ministries of economics. President Buchel may be on the Bitcoin bandwagon, but they're not quite there yet. They've given it some thought. Second, as a hedge against inflation or outright confiscation due to corruption, anyone can purchase this insurance policy, not only high net worth individuals. I don't think it will happen all at once, but if the market is already in a bullish phase, I predict that platforms adding the spot Bitcoin ETF will be the next catalyst. Well, I'm hoping that comes to fruition this year. Prospective platform clients informed us that they would require 6 to 9 months for evaluation. Thus, we have entered the 6-month mark. In the autumn, I anticipate that at least one platform will offer a Bitcoin exchange-traded fund ETF, maybe even several. After that, I believe that will be the following one. I believe it was the final partition. We went through the halves process and many people were hoping for a pop, but it never came. The fact that so many people have bought into it in anticipation means, first of all, that it never happened. I have, however, watched it to a degree. Wait, I guess you could say, and then suddenly, that means they might happen at the same time in Q4 of this year. Who knows, it might be thrilling. For example, Art Laffer is quite enthusiastic about Bitcoin since, in his view, the Federal Reserve has effectively controlled the country's money supply for many years. As a result, horrible things have not transpired. The years leading up to the establishment of the Federal Reserve in 1913 were characterized by price stability, adherence to the gold standard, extreme economic volatility, and rapid ups and downs. They lasted only a few weeks. We built up to a crash for years. And the 2008 to 2009 model is a prime example of that. I don't know what will happen as a result of private equity, private credit, and the massive amounts of money invested in real estate and leveraged up, but here we are again with zero interest rates. Even in places where migration has been substantial, we are beginning to observe the consequences. As a result, multifamily dwellings are becoming overly common in the Sun Belt. For that reason, I believe that crises will persist. With any luck, it won't be 08 to 09. No, I don't believe so. You know, though, when you get below zero for an extended length of time, it makes you want to go for yield, which in turn makes you act badly.